Hello, everybody. Welcome. Let me try it again. Welcome to the office hours, the Tuesday night office hours for the Chameleon Academy. If you're watching this on replay, know that this happens every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, and you can join the live studio audience on Instagram and on YouTube, Chameleon Academy Live. That's a new YouTube channel. So hello, everybody. By the way, Instagram people, if you want to be on a very active chat, the YouTube is where it's at. Chameleon Academy Live. It's different than the Chameleon Academy channel. I had to do that. Whole big story. I'll tell you when the things, when if somebody really wants to know. So, all right, everybody, let's go ahead and say hello. Oh my gosh, Wayne Abides is here. Why is Wayne Abides? You're supposed to come into the middle of the show and tell everybody to smash the like. What's going on? So, all right. Let's see. Okay. I've been awake all day. James is here. Didn't need a wake-up call from Steve. And hello, Abraham Frank. I think we saw that name once before. So we may have a new member hanging out here, which is pretty cool. So Matthew, you were wondering when the book Tiny Dragons is going to show up on Amazon. Well, it's almost there. So it's almost there. So yes, everybody, the book Tiny Dragons will be available on Amazon hopefully soon. Yeah, we're working on it. So let's see. Okay, I am actually up to date in the chat. How'd that happen? So, everybody, I am here with the mushroom cup. I did dishes, and so I hid this away so I could find it. That the benefits of doing that. Hello to Turtle Tom. So, all right. So this is, you know what this is? This is our office hours. I make this. I generally do not do talk and do answer questions via email or Facebook or Instagram or all that kind of stuff because it just gets, there's a lot of stuff there. And so I make myself available every week here live. And so you can ask your question live and the whole community can benefit from the answer. So that's what we're doing here. And what that means is that you can ask any question about the chameleon community, even social media. I do a lot of social media type stuff, entrepreneuring type stuff. But this is an open session for everybody here to ask whatever questions you want to. And if I need to, and gosh, although there are some accounts that just that show up garbled. And I don't know what to do. I mean, right now, Eliza Ann's account is just showing up garbled. I guess there's, we have a bad connection or something going on. But because she's asking about a Parsons Care sheet, I actually have that on the plan now. Oh, wait, Nate is saying that has become more and more relevant to me too. Oh no, you see, this is the problem. My community, there are people in the community that are saying that they are not going to get a Parsons until they get a Parsons Care Guide from me, which means I've got pressure. So, all right, the pressure grows. Nate needs a care sheet. What's up with this nonsense that you can't read? I can't read your messages, Eliza. They're just too garbled. Oh, boy. Okay. All right, fine. I'm going to get working on that. Anybody else need the Parsons Care Guide? Anybody else here waiting to get a Parsons Chameleon once you have the Parsons Care Guide? So, here we go. Do you have a Brachysia theli care sheet? Well, actually, Marcia Ann, I'm talking to Michael Nash. Theli is a favorite species of his, and so we may be able to get some real quality information. Theli is an interesting Brachysia because it likes to go up high. It likes to climb, so it's a little bit different. So, yeah, maybe I should work on a Brachysia theli Feline care guide. That sounds like something I should do right now. Mikey Ben is asking a question here. How many episodes in the new miniseries are there with Dr. Nash? Mikey Ben, right now we have 6 episodes that are recorded and ready to go. And so, okay, I've got to do a little bit more editing and processing, but they're recorded. Now, Dr. Nash, everybody, just so you already know what's going on, Dr. Michael Nash, works with the mini chameleons, like the very small Kalumas, Brachysia, the carpet chameleons, the Campani. And so he is now doing a podcast on the Chameleon Academy podcast and the YouTube channel on mini chameleons. And so we are getting some real good information here. And he is going to be on the live session on Saturday, the Saturday Chameleon Workshop. Michael Nash is going to be there this Saturday, which means you guys can come and ask him questions and show him how much you appreciate his episodes. I literally have 16 more titles that I'm going to kind of slip his way. And the reason why he did a 6-episode miniseries is because he's going through residency right now. He's a PhD, MD, and going through residency. And so his schedule's a little bit crazy. But you know what? We'll take what we can get. Let's see. Yes, Saturday, be there. For those wondering, the Mini Chameleon podcast, an episode comes out every Monday, and it is both the typical podcast channels like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and that kind of stuff, as well as on YouTube, the YouTube channel. And I just we got him to do a chameleon cam on one of his boat, Gary. And so throughout the entire podcast where he's talking, you see a little boat Gary just sitting there in the cage. And actually, I did the same thing. Other announcement is tomorrow morning, a new episode of the Chameleon Academy podcast is going live. And it's going to be about the Furcifer bifidus breeding program. And it's going to be what we're trying to do and how we're trying to structure it. So tomorrow, you can it'll be there ready for your commute. For US, it'll be there for your morning commute. Europe, it'll be there for your evening commute. And it will be released. There will be a video version of it released on the YouTube channel tomorrow at 5 a.m. Pacific. And yes, it's going to be a premiere. And yes, I'm going to be up for it. So if you want to start your day off with a podcast, come on down. And I put the cam on a male Furcifer bifidus, and a little bunch of crickets go in. So he does a lot of just sitting around while I'm talking, but he does zap some crickets. So there'll be something for us to look at while we're listening. So, And the font is updated and bigger. The font? We got... What's the or are we talking about the font for the thumbnail? Renee and Michael Nash are already conversed. Yes, you've got an in now. Liza Ann says, tell Dr. Nash that I would love to learn more about the smaller species, and I would urge him to make more than 6 episodes. Please come on Saturday and tell him that yourself. That would really work out well. Stephanie says, love the book Gary footage. They're cool little, but yeah, there's something fun about just looking at, this podcast episode that I am launching tomorrow is about 30 minutes long. So it's a podcast. And so there's 30 minutes of a male Furcifer bifidus just hanging out in his cage, zapping a cricket, walking back, walking forward, just hanging out, looking at the camera. That's what chameleons do. So I think it's it's a true rendition of what having a chameleon is like. James 3 says, getting more and more fascinated by micro chameleons. Can't wait. Yeah, they're a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Up. James Cross his. Oh, there's are pygmy chameleons a good beginner chameleon? They can be. There's nothing really hard about them. Just, they're like every chameleon. As long as you take care of them correctly, they do great. So if by see, the thing is, when we say beginner chameleon, a lot of times we're saying a chameleon that can take a little bit of improper husbandry. And so if you are deep enough into the chameleon community that you're coming to my show, you've number one heard of my show, because the general populace doesn't always hear about my show. It's the people in the chameleon community that hear about my show. So if you're here, chances are you know where the good information is. And so you're going to be able to take care of your pygmy chameleons. I'm assuming you're talking about Brachysia, because we don't have any Rampholian available here that I know of, although you may be in Europe and there's different things going on there. Coco the Cam says, do chameleons dream? I don't know. We have seen Coco's eyes moving rapidly while closed in deep sleep. I don't know the answer to that question. And I mean, I would imagine they would. I mean, dogs do, so why not chameleons? But I don't know. Good question. Good question. Now, let's see. James Cross has a question. I haven't even read it yet, so I'm reading it out loud. We're all going to learn about it together. He says, so I got a question. I'm noticing some of my chameleons sleep with their head facing up, others with their head facing down. Do you think there's a reason for this? I think, and this is only what I think, because, I'm going to turn this over. The sun is, no. Yikes. All right. The sun is being a real pain in the butt. What can I do? Give me a second. We all, that's not going to work. Okay. All right. So this is what happens when everything shifts and I don't have any curtains for that window. How do I do this? All right, guys, hang tight. We're going to figure this out. Ow, jeez. Gotta figure this out. Hang tight, everybody. Sun, go away. Come again some other day. I have to do that? Okay. That is a temporary solution. So it may all fall apart. Oh, well. How is Dorito? Dorito has graduated. Dorito used to be down here. Dorito is now outside because Dorito just started growing. So, very happy about that. Oh, boy. Let me get the cameras all set up. Boy, all sorts of drama here on the Chameleon Academy Live. So, James, I would say I don't think there's a reason for it other than they don't have the problems being upside down that we do. And so they just do whatever they feel like doing. And in this, they just stay where they are. And I bet you if blood didn't rush to our head, we would fall asleep upside down too. James 3, how is Zebra doing? And everybody, Zebra is Luke's cave cockroach. Luke is James 3's son. We have quite the community here. Oh, wait a minute. Someone's getting a multi? Who's getting a multi? Stephanie's getting a multi? Congratulations, Stephanie. That is awesome. I don't even see where you say this, but I miss a lot of chat. Bill, before you start any new care guides, you need to post information about the flights to Madagascar. Yes, I do. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. Because we got to buy those tickets. All right, we got Lena Amanda here. Hello. My male bifidus enclosure I made too thick. You mean with plants? Wow. Bifidus like their privacy. Except James's and Robin's that just love to party. Say, Bill, we don't know what you're talking about. All right, let me see. I'm just what I'm doing is I'm running through the chat here. Watch out, someone behind me is. Oh, hey, Spearmint. Hey, can you guys see Spearmint? Let's see. I'm going to try to get the camera on Spearmint, although the light is kind of washing him out. Yeah. See a little Spearmint back there? Love him. That is a Kaluma O'Shaughnessy, a shamrock chameleon. So, hey, Artsie's chameleons. So I'm going to be down here at the corner for the YouTube, just so you guys can see Spearmint walking around up there. Some burrito going into it. Yeah. I've been moving him around, and so he gets to go to a bigger enclosure. So that's good. There. Got us both in camera now. So let's see. And then Nick is currently hybridizing a bunch of screen enclosures. So hybridizing a screen enclosure, that's where we take a typical Reptibreeze or cheap screen enclosure and we wrap it with this stuff that you see right here. It's the window insulation. That's one way to do it. You can do it with a chloroplast, PVC, whatever. Shower curtain. Oh, there he goes. There he goes. Oh. Stephanie says, no one, Bill. No one's getting anything. Yeah, okay. That's very suspicious. Hey, Mason's Turtles. Very suspicious to me. But yes, I did get a pair from Jay. Oh, very nice. Very nice. Yeah. All right. Whew. All right, everybody, you go ahead. I am going to relax a little bit here. And you know what? I brought the energy, but the energy is now gone. Yeah. So I'm just going to hang out with you guys. We're going to talk chameleons. I've been working very hard on this virtual campus, which is important to me because, as you know, for the Chameleon Academy, it's been very important for me to have community. That's been the main component of the Chameleon Academy for these last 10 years. And people look at this and say, hey, it's about chameleons. No, it's about the chameleon community. I mean, that's really the thread behind it. And that's why I'm still here 10 years later and still producing episodes. It's because it's not about chameleons. It's about the community. And so it's very important that my outreach be something that has community to it. And that's the reason why a website is wonderful. but it's not the core of the Chameleon community. The chameleonacademy.com has so much information, and yeah, I keep adding information there, but it's just like a library. The community is what is the core of Chameleon Academy, and so I needed a community platform, and that's what this virtual campus is. It's a community platform. So I am going to be dedicating more and more resources to building that out, and you're going to be able to see it grow over the next couple of years. By the end of the year, I hope we're going to have another course, and I'm going to be building out the web portal. So there's going to be moving and shaking. If you're interested in what the heck, you're saying, what the heck is Bill talking about? I am talking about the Chameleon Academy Virtual Campus, which is a community just for us. I'm putting the link into the YouTube. Instagram doesn't let me put links because Instagram's a little pain. I love everybody on Instagram, but the app itself, it's not my friend anymore. I used to be very big on Instagram. I used to think this, really dedicated to Instagram. Not anymore. Don't like them very much. So let's just saying, do I need to cancel my 10 for the yearly, or if I just sign up, it'll automatically go? Just sign up for if you're switching membership, just sign up for the yearly and cancel the 10, and it'll that's the way to do it. So it's very easy to cancel, and if you need any help with that, just let me know and we'll do that. But and I've and on the virtual campus, there's two sections to it. There's the course, and then there's the community forums, and those are two separate things. So the course people don't get the community forums. The community forums don't get the course, and that's meant so if you're on the course, you're focused on that, and there's internal reasons. But if you want to go, now I have a bridge between them for, it's called an annual thing. And so if anybody has the monthly for the forums, just go to the annual one and cancel your 10. If you've purchased a course, then come to me and say, hey, I'd like to do the overall package, and we just do it. It's just a $20, the difference between the course and the annual. And so I'll give you a special link, so it's only $20, and then you're now on the annual plan. So there's always a little complications when we grow, but growing is great because we're getting things done. Coastal Chameleon says, did you see any hissing roaches on your trip to Madagascar? I did, and it was so cool. In the Anja Reserve, got to see them. All right. Which package? Wow! She's not letting up. Which package includes a Parsons Care Guide? Wow. Oh, boy. Yes, everybody. I have been harassed for the Parsons Care Guide. Now, I do deserve it because I said that it would be out like in April, and it wasn't. So I do deserve this harassment. I will admit that. But I will claim victimhood. Anyways. Seth says, speaking of Utah, remember you said you'd come to Utah, Springville in the near future. Has that already happened? That happened the weekend before last. Yes, we were there. We had a grand old time. It was wonderful. Yes. Now I've got Jenna. Yes, Parsons. Man. All right. Do you hear the people sing? Oh boy. Yes. I was cornered in a cave. This is how serious it's gotten. Oh. Mm. So okay. Let's go. We were talking about the campus, and the first we're going to be having monthly seminars. And if you remember the seminar that I did on the Saturday workshop seminar about the bioactive, well, I'm going to take that and ratchet it up another step higher, and I'm going to be doing those monthly seminars on the virtual campus. So this is me starting to really pack information into that virtual campus. All of these seminars that I'm going to be doing are available for replay. So when you get a membership, you can go in and you can see all of the what we've done before. We've already had seminars on coccidia. Jonathan Hill came in and did a seminar on coccidia in his Panther Chameleons. We had Dean from Dragon Hoppers come in and talk about nutrition for chameleons. Dr. Rob Koch talking about medications for parasites, and Dr. Michael Nash talked about protozoan parasites like coccidia and such. So Jana says, what's in the courses? Well, right now I have one course, and that's hunting microscopic chameleon parasites, and it tells you all about how to do your own fecals. So how to shop for a microscope, how to use the microscope, and how to identify parasites, and then what the medication is, and how to partner with your veterinarian, and all that kind of stuff. So that's the first course that is out right now. The next course is Your First Chameleon, which is going to be released before the end of the year. And of course, I better do the Parsons Care Guide before I get to that. Bill, when do we get Tiny Dragons on audiobook? That's I've been wondering about that. Should I do that? I mean, would people listen to Tiny Dragons on audiobook? And there's so much. I think I've spent 10 years doing a podcast, so I think that I could describe the pictures. That's something that I would consider. And Jenna, if you're interested in learning more about the course, just go to chameleonacademy.com and look for the course description, and you'll be able to see some stuff there. What's different about my digital course is my courses are community powered, which means that even though you go at your own pace, on each lesson, you can ask a question and I will get that question and I will answer it. And you get a dedicated forum where the students, fellow students that are going through the course are at, the alumni and me, and we are talking about how we're using the material. So this digital course, the platform that I got is community driven. And so that means that you're not alone when you can do it however long you want to take, but there is a forum there where we're all active there all the time. So you can ask questions and you can see how we're applying it. So it's more than just, okay, I'm going through this course and watching this video. You can see how people are applying it. And I think that's the most effective way for learning. And that's why I'm very excited and putting so much energy into this, because I believe this is the next step for the Chameleon Academy. This is my next evolutionary step. That's where I'm going next. Well, I'm here now. That's what I'm building out next. Let's see. Sounds like you need to take Luke to Madagascar. Oh, James 3. Have you considered that? I've got 2 spaces left to Madagascar in January, although I could extend that to 3. So if you want, Luke would go crazy over there. So just something to consider. Wow. Yeah. Bill, you better. Oh, of course, I would be the one to read it. I have to read. If I'm going to be doing an audiobook, It has to be me. What did you guys find after doing the parasite tests? Well, we all found different. We're always finding different things, and the thing with doing your own parasite test is you can do it on every poop that comes, and so you can go to the vet before the parasites get out of hand, and that is the real advantage to doing your own fecals. And I think doing our own fecals is once you have your chameleon, I think the number one piece of equipment you need is a solar meter, and the number two piece of equipment is a microscope. And it tells you what's going on inside your chameleon. It gives you such an insight into your chameleon, how it's going on inside, and you'd be surprised at how many parasites there are in captive hatched chameleons. Yeah. Yeah, Eliza Ann had boring poops for a while, and I guess that's good news. But it's you get into a very strange dynamic where we're all hoping for parasites so we can show them off, and I ordered some chameleons with parasites from Jay. I said, Jay, I want some chameleons that have subcutaneous nematodes, and I didn't even care what they were, what the species was. Just send me some with subcutaneous nematodes. And so he did. And yeah, I ordered parasites from Madagascar. All right. Can your average 8-year-old? Yeah. Oh, yeah. He would be fine. He would be fine. It really isn't. There's two hikes that was he with us? Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's two hikes that they take all day. So it depends. Can he do a day hike? But I mean, we're doing the day hike, but there's lemurs bouncing around and there's bugs all over, incredible bugs, and chameleons all over. And so it's like, yeah, okay, sometimes it's okay, well, we got to hike a little bit more, but there's so much to see. So you'd have to judge. If you want to know more information, let me know and we can talk about I'll talk about exactly what kind of stuff we do, and you can decide if it would work well with him. You know him best. Okay. Yeah, and we like, for example, with all the Bursivore bifidus that came in, it came into community members who all had access to microscopes, and we were able to determine, I mean, really, that there was a very light parasite load. And the ones that did have parasites, they were flagellated protozoa. So, I mean, I think I was the only one out of the entire group that had one that had enough parasites to be treated. And there's another thing. When you are doing your own fecals, you can decide how bad is this parasite load. And with a wild caught, that's important because you don't want to slam them with all these medications, because all these medications are poisons. They're meant to be poisons at low enough level that they don't affect the chameleon, but the chameleon still has to process them. And then the chameleon has to process all of these dead parasites that are now floating around. So we have to be careful. It's not just, oh, there's a parasite, let's treat. There's got to be some intelligence behind it. And of course, that's the course helps you with that. Yeah. I will say, me at 8 years old, that would have been a dream trip. And I see a lot of similarities with Luke. So. Let's see. All right. Konstantinos has been cleaning Plant seeds. It's got to send out an order of 200. Wow. Oh. All right. I'm very glad to see the community taking care of each other. That was very cool. Nate saying, how hard was it doing with that small poop? Yes, if you've got small poops, how do we do a fecal analysis? Generally, if I have a very small poop, I just do a float, not a float, a smear. And then even the small poops are good enough for the smear, and you can see everything with the smear. So the direct smear, that's where you take the poop and you put it on the slide and you put some saline solution. So it's not, you don't see the nematode eggs, Coccidia, oocysts, and the entamoeba as clearly, but you can still see them. And so the smear is the one that is kind of like, if you have to pick one, pick the smear. Is there a good microscope you recommend? Yes. And actually there's a whole section on the course that's about selecting a microscope, what to look for, and even links for the microscopes that a basic microscope that I would recommend. So everybody, if you want to start in on parasites, this course assumes that you have no background and you don't have a microscope. You don't even know what to get. It will start you at ground zero and just build up and say, this is what you need. This is how you use it and all that. So no prerequisites for this course. Yes, Angela's having a problems with her female veiled chameleon, who is not being communicative. Constantino says these are rare sisad. Did I say that right? Seeds that I produce by hand pollinating my trio. 200 seeds is about 4/5 of what a female cone produces. Oh, it is so wonderful being able to, with this internet, being able to have a niche interest and finding a community that loves it. It's pretty dry by the time I did the smear. Yeah, that's the thing with the smear. And the reason why we try to get a smear very soon is because we want to see flagellated protozoa, and the best way to see that is to see them move, because they're just these very erratic movement, and that's how we see it. If they weren't moving, if they were dead, then we wouldn't. They'd either be encysted and they'd be a little bit of a ball, and we wouldn't be able to tell what they were, or else you wouldn't be able to see them at all. They're just dead. Oh, so lots of fun, and I have my microscope. I use it every couple days. Every time I get a poop, I use it. I want to see what's going on, and just because you've cleaned your chameleon of parasites doesn't mean they're clean forever. The chameleon parasite relationship is a husbandry management issue. It's not a single battle. And you say, yeah, but where do the parasites come from if I kill them all? You'd be surprised at how easy they jump around the reptile community. And if you get anything from a pet store, well, what were they handling before they handed you the bag, before they handed you the money? Did somebody pick up the product that you just bought, put it down after they held a bearded dragon? There's just, did you touch the doorknob after somebody else did? And that it just goes on and on. It's easier for the parasites to jump around the reptile community than it is to jump around Madagascar. So it's ironic that we have facilitated parasites Um, so it's important for us all to have a microscope and not panic. The wonderful thing about going through this course and getting this information is, once you understand parasites, it's not something to panic about. And general populace, you say the word coccidia and everybody starts running around crazy with flamethrowers. Well, after you take this course, you realize, okay, they're just another parasite, and yeah, it's hard to kill them, but you don't have to kill them. You just have to make sure they're not in nowhere can get access to your chameleon. And there's 3 places that we can break the life cycle, and so it really it gives you a more of a sense of peace. And I heard pet store crickets have a higher chance of pinworms. Not the crickets themselves. The crickets aren't going to be carrying reptile pinworms. They may be carrying cricket pinworms, but not reptile pinworms. That's I know that's something that bounces around the community a lot, but some scientists got really said, hey, you know what, we got to figure this out. And so sometimes there's literally a study where a scientist went and he checked the crickets from these farms and said, okay, there's no pinworms here. That's just kind of an urban legend thing, but there may be a kernel of truth to that, because who handles the crickets? Who handles the bag that the crickets go into? Who handles the money that's exchanged, and all of these things? So there's a lot more to that story, but I'm not worried about parasites coming in with feeder insects. James 3 says, Bill, is there any way to regain a chameleon's interest in a particular feeder? Still having a tough time getting Rage back into do. Yeah. Don't feed them for a couple of days. Like even just 3-4 days. Skip 2 feedings and then bring in some dubia. It's amazing how they are not as picky. But you got to be careful, because some of them don't eat like superworms or dubia because they had a bad experience. Like if a superworm came around and bit a chameleon, that chameleon may never want to eat a superworm again. So it's not being picky, it's just they're scared of them and they had a really bad experience and they're learning from it. So we do have to be careful about how we interpret our chameleon's behavior. There may be other things going on. This week I learned that Cryptosporidium can be a nasty hospital bug in humans. Yes, Cryptosporidium is... I say don't be scared of coccidia. Be scared of Cryptosporidium. I will say there is 2 things make this protozoa really scary. Number 1, we can't kill it. We don't know how to kill it. Nothing kills it. None of our cleaners kill it. It's really, really bad. But the thing that really makes it deadly and horrible is it auto-infects, which means that it will produce oocysts inside of your reptile, and those oocysts will hatch inside of your reptile. So coccidia is a lot. The reason why coccidia is not scary is because, you have a bunch of oocysts being created inside the chameleon, but those oocysts have to come out and then have to find their way back into the mouth of the chameleon. And we have 3 major places where we can break that life cycle. So it's like, coccidia, whatever. But Cryptosporidium, they don't have to come out of the body. We don't have a medicine that can kill them inside the body, and they don't have to come out of the body for their life cycle. And so once your reptile has Cryptosporidium, nothing you can do. The only thing that will kill Cryptosporidium is your reptile's immune system. This is why husbandry is so critical. We are lucky in the chameleon world that we don't see Cryptosporidium as much as other reptiles do. but there are reports of crypto in chameleons, and so it's something we got to keep an eye out for. And it's really hard to see with a microscope. You got to do special tests for cryptosporidium. So that's where we have to send it out to a lab. Ugh. Yeah, we don't like crypto. Do not like crypto. Any bug dealers that don't mark the box saying it's filled with bugs. My new place has people working the front end reptiles, especially bugs, are a no-no. Whoa, Eric. I don't know. Oh, boy. Oh, Liza Ann's got a great suggestion. Just have your bugs shipped to the nearest FedEx hub. Pick them up rather than have them delivered. Good solution. Yeah, it's one way to keep them from dying because they were dumped at your doorstep in the sun. Yeah, that's Eliza Ann. Yeah, you got the right attitude. She says, I laugh at the face of coccidia. yeah, we laugh at coccidia here. But when crypto shows up, we quietly run out the back door. Yeah. Konstantinos has a very good life principle. He says, I refrain from handling any animals that I am offered 99% of the time. Got to protect mine. Yes, that's it. Whenever you handle another animal, you are handling all the animals that the people who have handled that animal have handled before. And so even if that crested gecko or whatever doesn't have coccidia inside of it, if you're at a show and people with coccidia on their hand because they wiped the bearded dragon wiped its cloaca against their hand, and then they go hold something else, they're bringing coccidia oocysts and passing it around. That's how it's really easy for the reptile community to pass these parasites. Whew. All right, lots of I love the parasite talk, and yeah, Jenna, if you take the class, you go in there, you can see my latest masterpiece, roundworms. Got some real cool roundworm ova and treated, and out poop came roundworms so big that you could see them. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of that. Pretty proud of that parasite picture haul. Yeah. Jazz says, true, there's a reptile show here coming this week. I'm kind of nervous about going. Yeah. Hate to say, but yeah, because I mean, what are you going to do? It's like touching surfaces is how oocysts and ova are transported. So just the bathroom door, the knob that you turn for your sink. I like the paddle knobs because you turn it on with the dirty side and you turn it off with the clean side. So anybody who's touched that before, I hate the knobs. They're so stupid. Knobs on bathroom faucets are stupid because you go in with your dirty hand, you turn it on, you clean your hands, and then you go put your hand on the knob, which has all of the dirty parasites and all that kind of stuff, to turn it off. That's ridiculous. And so you can sit there and wash your hands for 30 seconds. You can wash your hands for 10 minutes. It doesn't matter because your hands are going to be dirty again with the parasite Coccidia oocysts that you came with. So yeah, everybody take a look at your bathroom faucets. They're the turn knob. It's ridiculous. You need the paddles. That's the way to do it. So, Bill, did you get a tardigrade? This is Eric is asking about this. Yes. I have been looking for a tardigrade. Those are the water bears, little microscopic creatures. I have not yet, Eric. I have been looking through mosses everywhere. Although I hear that there were some in the cave in Utah. So I was thinking about snagging some of that water, but I didn't. Lee says, we cannot tell you how many people get upset when we tell them they cannot hold our chameleons at expos. Also explaining to them that they are more of a setback and appreciate reptiles. Yep. But also, I mean, any breeder, this is really tough for breeders. If you go to a reptile expo, I mean, it's almost impossible to make sure that you are not exposing your animals to the parasites that are going around. I mean, even if you don't have even if they're not handling the animals, you're handling money. You're shaking hands. It's just, it's part of what we have to do, and that's why breeders like Lee have a microscope. And I think this is one way to start judging your breeders. I've got a list of what I think breeders should do. First is individual raising. Next is, do they have a microscope? And the new generation breeders are doing that. New generation breeders, they're coming up, they're individually raising, and they got a microscope. And so the chameleon community is evolving. We keep going forward, and it's really cool. I mean, not everybody's happy about it, but this is the way to do it. Let's see. Lee says we keep rescue disinfectant. Yeah, rescue in business by the amount of spray and whips we use at the expo. Yeah. Hey. It's my rescue. Whew. But oh man. Now Jenna's getting into the action. If there was a Parsons course, I would take that. Oh my goodness. You're just ratcheting it up, aren't you? So, bye Mason's turtles. So, oh, Nate, what a question. Who wouldn't want the chameleon community to move forward? Am I missing something? Okay, everybody. This is how we're going to end the show. It is natural that once you get to a certain level of expertise, you consider yourself an expert. And it's natural to then relax. You've earned your badge. And so you want to relax into that expert state. And it's a lot of work to keep moving forward. And you run into the problem, the very embarrassing situation where you might have to say, oops, I was wrong. And if you enjoy all the perks that come with calling yourself an expert. I mean, nobody calls themselves an expert, right? Oh, we're not experts. We're always learning, but they act like an expert. And if you dispute them or question them, well, I've had all this experience. So they act like experts, but no one's allowed to use the word expert. Okay. So when I say expert, I mean people who have expertise. Okay, I'm going to do this. I am going to totally mess up the universal order and say, I am an expert. That's right. I said it. I've been doing this for 45 plus years. when it comes to chameleon husbandry, I am an expert. Does that mean I know everything? No, of course not. But I have a certain expertise. Let's 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 take away this this idea that we can't use the word expert. If we are acting like an expert, if we are giving advice, then we are considering ourselves at some level of expertise, and that's okay, because we need people that have some level of expertise. And if you've bred something, you've earned that level of expertise. It doesn't mean you know everything. It doesn't mean you know more than everybody else, but you have a level of expertise, and I want you to own that. You've earned it. So, don't accept stuff. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. So the thing is, when you get comfortable, when you get to that level and you like that level and you don't want to move beyond that level, you will now be threatened by anyone who is moving beyond that level and has different ideas. And, just see what happened with the whole fogging thing. That just okay. That was a complicated thing, because you did have somebody going around saying, and if you don't do fogging, you're doing it wrong. So that always makes things a little bit more dramatic than it needs to be. But if you've considered yourself an expert and now you've got someone who comes in with new ideas, it's threatening. And the thing is, how it's presented is a huge difference, because, and this is the way I present new things here. I present new things at the Chameleon Academy as an evolution. We had to go through what we did back then to get to where we are now. I am all for individual raising of baby panther chameleons, but we had to go through the group raising 20 years ago to be able to get to this point. We had to prove that we could do it. We had to prove that we could make enough babies that we could support a business. And once we supported a business, the community could grow. That was a necessary step for us to go through. And even though I'm sitting here saying it's proper husbandry to individually raise panther chameleons, I will never go back and say they were wrong. I did it. We were all wrong to do it that way. It's a natural evolution of this community. And this is why, one reason why it's very hard for people to accept change. It's because whoever comes up with this new idea or is pushing this new idea wraps it in a wrapper of saying, and if you haven't been doing this, you've been doing it wrong all this time. Well, then you've obviously got the pushback right there, and you have drama that is completely unnecessary. But boy, don't we love to do that. So people aren't necessarily against new ideas and moving forward. They're against being told that what they've been doing that has worked for 20 years is wrong. And so they immediately plant their feet and say, no, it's not. So it becomes a personality thing. And honestly, you find me defending people. I mean, I say individual raising, but I will also defend the people who have been doing the group raising. I'll say it's time for us to move on. It's time for all the new breeders to individually raise. But, the breeders that have been group raising for 20 years, they got us where we are. We wouldn't be a community, able to be a community, without the work that they did. Let's honor that. Let's realize how important that was. You realize what kind of community we have, and the only reason why we have this community is because there's enough baby panther chameleons to support a community. If we did not have baby panther chameleons, then all of these breeders making all of these panther chameleons, our community wouldn't have grown. If we were just still with wild caught, then, or we were so draconian in our way of thinking that everybody has to do individually raising from the beginning, I don't know that we'd have the community we have now. Yes, we need to move forward, and I'm vocal about it, but I still haven't proved that we can have the same output. Jonathan Hill is the pioneer on this. Yeah, I've been yapping about it in the background, but talking about it doesn't do anything. When somebody actually makes it work and proves that it can work in the real world, that's the real hero. I mean, Jonathan here, as much as I've been saying it over and over and over again, Jonathan Hill is the real hero when it comes to individual raising of panther chameleons, because he put his foot down and says, I'm going to do a business and I'm going to do it individually raised. I'm going to stick with it. And he proved that it could work. That was the proof point right there. And so, I mean, me talking about it all these years, I had the easy job. I never translated it out into a business. I mean, I do it individually. I do it as a hobbyist, but I've never done it as a business. And for it to truly take its place as a foundation husbandry in our community, it had to be proved that it could work in the breeder community. And so I mean, I can look back on the last 10, 20 years, and I can give you the actual milestones that allowed us to build on top and on top and on top. So why is it hard to move forward? Because human beings are just horrible. What is it with us? Oh, we have these visions of how we can be better, yet it's so hard for us to actually do it. I mean, why do we have to attach, and if you don't agree with me, you're wrong. And if you do change with this new method, then you have to credit me, and then you're following me. And it's like, gosh, let's just get rid of all of this power dynamic stuff. We are here, we are building on everything that has been done before. Of course, they didn't do it, quotes, right 25, 30 years ago. That's the way it happens. We get better. And you know what? 20 years from now, they're going to look back at what we're doing right now and say, oh my gosh, they were so primitive. Okay, that's how it works. That's how science works. And there's no better system. So let's be grateful to the people who have done it the way they did it 20 years ago, 30 years ago. That's how we got to where we are right now, to where we can now start looking at, we're now looking at enrichment. The reason why we can look at enrichment and put a priority and premium on enrichment is because we already went through proving that we could breed them, proving that they could be a business, proving that we could produce enough to create a community. That has given us the foundation, so we can now say, oh, let's talk about the chameleon's feelings, which is an important step. But we had to go through all of that. And so anyway, I'm going to take a look at the chat because I just went off. Wait, I thought Sean was AI. Yeah, he is. He is. Okay, I am so far behind in the chat. So give me a second to try to catch up and see if there's anything that I need to respond to. And by the way, the wonderful thing about Chameleon Academy that I set up from the beginning that allows me to do what I do is because I've said from the beginning, I have trained my community to expect me to change when I find something that's different. And you can see throughout my Chameleon Academy, you can see points where I've said, hey guys, I had it wrong. I've learned something. And so it's become an aspect of the chameleon community that I can change my opinion. And uh, it is such a better way to live when you're in a position like me, when you're an educator, to be able to say, hey, I was wrong. I learned something better. And now I'm going to make sure that you have what's better. And I will tell you, everybody who has a certain level of expertise, it is tough to say you were wrong. But if you do, I mean, you actually are. You can't manufacture this kind of stuff. But if you actually are and you say, and you explain it all, your community will trust you more because they say, oh, okay. So it's not like the normal expert that stops at this level and fights forward movement. It's someone who continues with the forward movement. So just a little hint for anybody who is in the business of being an expert. Okay. All right. I'm just getting through all the chat. I know we're over time, so I'm just going to try to get to the end of the chat. I apologize if anybody is saying, "What the heck, Bill? What are you doing?" All right. A lot of it's really fun watching the community. They're just going being the community and being supportive of each other, and it's great. It's great to be up here watching people in the community take care of each other. I love it. So okay. Wonderful. I think I have caught. If I have missed any questions that you have or any comments that you think I should talk about, put them in the chat right now, even if you said it before, because I just had to go through a whole lot of stuff and I know I missed a whole lot because I was talking. That's kind of what I do. So anyway, everybody, this is what's available for you. Tomorrow morning is the release of a new podcast episode that's going to be about this Furcifer bifidus group. It's not going to be your typical, okay, this is how you take care of Furcifer bifidus. We're going to be talking about how we put together a breeding group and how we're going to support that and structure that. So, that's the kind of thing you have at Chameleon Academy. But podcast is out tomorrow. We do have a video at 5 a.m. Pacific on the YouTube channel, the standard YouTube channel, not the live YouTube channel, that will have a premiere, which means that there's a live chat. I am going to be up at 5 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Eastern, and I'm going to be there on the chat. And so if you want to get up there, me and Mikey's going to have his coffee, and I'm going to have my coffee. And James, if James may or may not be there, we'll see. And we're going to be there. It is a podcast, and so while I'm talking, like on the video channel, you're going to see about half an hour of a male Furcifer bifidus sitting there hanging out in his cage, the cam. So it's kind of fun. He eats every now and then he just looks at you. So, but you can listen. You can sit back and you can listen. You don't have to watch the screen. And that's going to happen tomorrow at 5 a.m. Of course, it's available anytime after that as replay or on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, that kind of stuff. Anyone with an RSS feed. Jana says, can we do an enclosure share? Sometimes we all send you photos. Yes. We do that every now and then. I keep saying, yeah, we'll do it at the beginning of every month, and then I forget. But yeah, go ahead. Send it to Bill at chameleonacademy.com. And and we can show off some enclosures. Is Steve going to be able to wake me up for tomorrow's podcast? Steve, Mr. Hefner, you need to text James and wake him up. Wake him up in time. Eliza says, I can text you, James. You know what? Anybody who has James's phone number, text him at 4:45 tomorrow morning and remind him. There's one tomorrow morning. Yes, Eliza, and there is one tomorrow morning. I know we had one on Monday, but that was the Michael Nash podcast. This is the Chameleon Academy podcast that is happening tomorrow morning. So, and you said yes. Well, there was no warning. I am working on a new schedule, everybody. So just bear with me as I establish how this works, because I have a weekly theme, and there's the workshop, there's the podcast that goes along with video, and then there's a newsletter. And I keep working on different ways of mixing and matching them, and how's the best way to work with the community. So bear with me. I'm thinking this is what I'm thinking right now. Start with the topic on Saturday. Have the mini Chameleon podcast Monday morning. Q&A session on Tuesday night. That's where you are. And then on Wednesday, I have my Chameleon Academy podcast. That's the day for that. Friday is the newsletter. And then Saturday starts the new topic. That's what I'm experimenting with right now. So, and you're saying, well, will there be another, like a long form YouTube video on Friday morning? Like you said, you might. There might be. But I got to make sure that I can handle what I've got right now. See, that's the problem. I come up with a lot of great ideas that are beyond the reach of normal mortals. And I hate to admit this, but all evidence suggests that I'm a normal mortal and that I am constrained by the 24-hour day, and I require sleep, which I think is a very poor design choice, but not much I can do about it. So anyway, all right, everybody, I am going to, I am sorry I'm not being very good with the chat. Bill, will you at least keep the 5 p.m. ones California time? The ones that I do, like this one right now, 5 p.m. Sunday, 5 p.m. California time. So those are the live sessions are not being touched. Those schedules are in concrete. Those are going to be very, very tough for me to move around. So I'm not even trying to move around. And Eliza Ann says, don't burn yourself out, Bill. Yes, I am trying to figure out how to get all those outreaches in a way that's actually sane. Bill, I need a schedule. Yes, I'm good. You need a newsletter. That's what the newsletter is going to have, is a schedule. So on Friday, you're going to get a schedule. Jana says, I need a schedule. Where do we find this? Jana, go. Anybody wants a schedule, go to chameleonacademy.com. Sign up for the newsletter there, and I will send a schedule to your inbox. It'll be a summary of everything going on, and there will be a schedule. And yes, I know it's complicated. We need a schedule. And now I have 2 YouTube channels. It's like, come on. What the heck? What the heck? Why does it have to be this complicated? Does it have to be this complicated? I don't know. Somebody turned Bill into a demi-chameleon god so he can do all the things. Yes, that's the best idea I've had all night. I love it. Let's do that. All right, everybody. Have a very good week. I will see the crazy ones tomorrow morning with your coffee, and anybody who has James Cross's phone number, text him at 4:45 p.m. Pacific, not p.m., a.m. Pacific time, and say, time to get ready for the podcast. So, oh, hey, everybody, do you want the, here, I can give you the link to the podcast. I think I can give you a link to the podcast here. Thought I could. There we go. Yeah, what the heck? I'm going to do it just for the fun of it. There we go. You can find it on the main channel. So, all right, everybody. We'll see you later.